All right, let's keep going. So I've got this book form, which I'm probably going to end up reusing for the edit. So let's see, edit. So in our URLs, well, first let's go into our book list. And in here, instead of book detail, let's do book, is it book form or book create? Create. Don't need that. Oh wait, hold on. Whoops. So in here, underneath our table, let's add a link. It's a book new. In our views, it's called book create. Section new. All right. I'm gonna go back, refresh. Uh-oh, book create not found. What am I looking at?
And is
Book create. Oh, URLs. Books. Book new. Oh, that's why. Oh, create. Should be. There we go. So if I click there, I can go to new book. I'm gonna go into details. I'm gonna add this to the book form, just to make it a little more intuitive so I don't have to manually do it up here. All right. So in our edit, okay, we have edit, goes to books/edit/ the book ID. Should create a view called book update. Def book update. Takes in the request. Oh, takes in the book ID. And then we can grab that book by doing book.getBook ID. So it grabs that book object from the database. And we can do book form equals book form request dot post or none. We can also take in an instance of a book right here. So we can say instance equals book. So this book instance has all the fields already on it. Like if I do book.title, book.author, book.genre, book.pages, it already has that on this book instance. And if I pass that instance into this book form, it comes into here, it has book title, book author, book genre, book pages. So when I render this book form, it should already have those fields rendered out. So I can do return, render, request, books/book form.html. So I'm re-rendering the same. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm actually going to go down here. And then same thing, book form, but instead of new or edit, it's going to be edit. All right. So I don't really need to create a new HTML template because I'm just reusing the same template. So if I refresh it, if I do go to, I'm going to go to book list, I'm going to add an edit. So book detail should be book what is it called? It's called, yeah, book edit. Book edit. Yeah, primary, do secondary. Edit. Let's see if this works. Got the edit. So if I click here, it should go see books, find a book edit in the URLs, comes into here, sees it says book edit, goes to, it should go to edit, followed by that book ID, goes into views, comes into here, book update, pass in the book ID, see if the URLs are right still. Yep, book update, comes in here, finds that book from the database by using this helper method, get book, creates a new book form object, the request post or none, but it's passing in this instance of this book object that we got from the database. We're passing that data as an object in form, book form, newer edit, edit. We're passing that in as data. So if I refresh and go to edit, everything's already filled out for us. So if this was not 308, it was like 309. And if I submit it, nothing happens because when I submit it, it doesn't do anything with that request. So if I were to print request dot post, and we refresh it, go to edit, go to 309 and submit it, nothing happens. But down here, in where I'm printing the request, the post request, we have that CSRF, the middleware token, which is the CSRF token, which is this value. Then we also have the title, the author, the genre, the pages. So if I really wanted, I can actually just access the pages in the post request. If I redo everything, edit, oh, what happened? The pages, dictionary error. Oh, well. Let's try that again. Oh, edit, 309, submit, dictionary, author, title, pages. I'm sure there's a way to access. Oh, it's a query tick. Okay. Anyway, but all that information is here. So pretty much the same thing as I did up here, I can do down here. If the book form is valid after I submit it, I can save it and redirect to book list. So I can edit it. Uh-oh. Book form is referenced before assignment. So if I edit it, oh, thank you. Refresh. If I change this to 309 and I click submit it, it's going to come back into book update. It's going to book form.request.post. It's going to grab that post request, assign it to that book form variable. It's going to run that is valid and ensure all the fields are valid. And then it's going to save it. And then it's going to redirect me to the book list page. So if I submit it, here we go. Now it's been updated. I can click view, still updated. If I wanted to edit it, I can go back to 308 and submit. Now it's back to 308. Does anybody have any questions so far. All right, I'll keep moving along. The last one is delete. You can go to books/delete/ followed by the book ID. Create a book delete method. In our views, def book _ delete. Takes in the request, takes in the book ID. It's going to grab the book by doing the calling that get book helper method. And then this is also going to be a post request because we're posting or updating the database. So we can say, let's actually return, we can say if request method equals post request book dot delete, and then again just do that. Otherwise, render the request, the books.book confirm _ delete .html, and let's just pass in that book as an object. Book. So now we have to build the confirm delete template. Book confirm _ delete .html, and then in our book confirm delete h1, and say book delete, and create a form. And this is going to be a method. The method is going to be a post request. Post. We have to use that CSRF token because it is a post request. CSRF token. And then let's do H2. Are you sure you want to delete the name of the book title? So we can say book.title. And then we can say the input. Type equals submit. Value equals submit. And then we can add a back button just in case we don't want to submit it. If I refresh it, nothing happens. Let's go back to the book list. So let's add that book edit. We can do book, say delete. The URLs, book delete, book list, delete. And let's do danger. I refresh that. If I click book delete, let's create a couple more books and then we'll delete them. Add some more books. Was it 368? True. Whoop. Crime 368. Submit it. There we go. Let's add one more. Cain and Abel. Jeffrey Archer. Fiction. Let's do 596. Cool. So if I wanted to delete one, I can go delete. Are you sure you want to delete? So what happened was, went to that URL, books /delete, ID of 4. So books delete, views, book delete method, comes into the books delete. If request.method equals a post request, then delete it. Otherwise, render this request confirm delete HTML, and it is passing in that book object from right here. So it comes into here, renders this form. It says H2, are you sure you want to delete the book title? And then when I click submit button, it's going to refresh and send that request over. So then it's going to come in here, request.method equals post, book.delete, and then redirect. So are you sure you want to delete can enable? If I submit it, re-render or comes in here, it's a post request. So when I submitted it, comes in, takes it as a post request, comes into here's, come in here, book.delete, which deletes it from the database, and then returns this redirect to book list method. Comes into here, book list method, and it essentially grabs all the books again and renders the book list. Does anybody have any questions? And that is CRUD, by the way.
Hey, Tom, could you go back to the page that you were on before? I think it was, yeah. In your book delete method,
Yep.
in the case that you don't have a post request, what's the other case here for
So
that?
so when it first initially renders, there is no request coming through this book delete. It's just like a GET request. So it comes into here and it just renders the book confirm delete, which is what we see on the screen, which is this form. And then when we actually click that button, so when we actually submit it right here, which is where this input is, it comes back into this book, essentially triggers this again, and it takes in a request, which is now it's a post request. And then it deletes the book, and then it just redirects us to the book list.
You would normally have like a couple options there instead of submit, right? So you would have yes and no to do two different actions on that. Are you sure you want to delete, correct?
So that's just depending on how you want your app to function. But ideally, when you're deleting something, you kind of want to have like, are you sure you're like multiple times, like clicking it multiple times? There's actually best practices for that. So if I said submit, a lot of best practices, like a modal will pop up. It's like, are you sure you want to delete? And you can say yes. And then another thing will come up. We'll say like, all right, delete it. I can show you guys real quick what I did on my app that I created for like a confirmation of delete. What other questions do you have? There are ways to edit your book, like the default values or default attributes of these different fields. Like you can do like title equals model, or like, I forgot what the actual nomenclature is, but you can actually change your forms. So like right here, this is like, it's changing some different attributes of the form. So it's like overriding the default ones. And you would just literally just put that up here if you wanted to.